Alright, you know what, let's just get this review done and over with already. I don't even want to do this review. Freaking has so many high expectations for this Cliffjumper, but freaking Ratchet told me to... Hey there guys, Primate Reviews here, and today we're going to be reviewing the Transformers Bumblebee Movie Studio Series 64 Autobot Cliffjumper. Now, I did tease this figure back in my last video, and if you haven't checked out my last video, please make sure to check it out, leave a like, and subscribe if you're new, and make sure to turn on post notifications so that way you guys don't miss a single upload. Now, this figure was really in one of my top high expectations of being one of the best studio series ever made. When we heard that there was going to be a Cybertronian Cliffjumper, we were all so excited. I was super excited, and yeah, that's all I have to say. Seeing the guy on the big screen for the very first time was actually really cool. You know, we got to see Cliffjumper, and that was actually, you know, really something that I didn't think we would see. And when I saw him, I was super excited. You know, I couldn't wait to see him in the upcoming Transformers movies, and yeah, that got shattered. Now taking a closer look at the packaging, you do got that nice Transformers Bumblebee logo there. Got a nice CG render of Cliffjumper. Studio Series 64 Autobot Cliffjumper. On the side, you do get that nice image of Cliffjumper, that nice Autobot logo as well. On the side, on the back, I'm sorry, you do got that nice image of the figure and his alternate mode in 20 steps, which is super simple. And on the other side, you do got the nice image of Cliffjumper again, Studio Series 64 logo right there. Now, that's it for the box, so let's take a look at this figure. Now, taking a closer look at Cliffjumper, you can see that the head sculpt is actually really cool. As you can see, that nice detail of silver. That's silver, yeah, that's silver with a little bit of light blue on the eyes. And the head sculpt actually does look pretty good. I do have to give Studio Series some credit for there. Looks really cool. Now, again, this was the figure before the B127, so they learned a lot and they improved a lot from this figure, because I feel like this mode did have potential. But all in all, same thing like Bumblebee, except red and black. But you have some nice, you know, it's some nice paint, I do have to say so. Really cool. I do wish he had more paint on the legs, like a little bit more black, like here or just here. But all in all, looks pretty cool. Now, this was the problem. This is why we were afraid of B127 to come out, because we knew that this was gonna happen. But all in all, it does look really decent. You know, this figure was in my high expectations as being one of the best studio series. But did it succeed? Next topic. I do have to give him some credit. The figure did look pretty cool. It's just handling him was the problem. Now, this figure did only come with one accessory, so let's take a look at that accessory now. Now, taking a look at his first and only accessory, here we have his blaster. Now, this blaster does look really cool. I do love the silver paint they went for, and I do love the black here. Actually, it does look really cool. You do got that little subtle details there, but all in all, it does look really good. I do have to say so myself. It does look really cool. Now, let me bring in the Bumblebee blaster, B127 blaster, so you can see the difference. The difference is only the color. This one is a little bit shade darker of a black, and this is gray. So all in all, there are the differences between the two blasters. Everything else is exactly the same. Now, let's put on his blaster so you can see how cool he actually looks with it. Now, to put on his blaster, just like B127, you're simply just gonna bring his hand here, and it's already gonna be a hole there. There's gonna be a dart. There's gonna be a peg here, and you're just gonna simply just clip it in there, just like so. And there you go. Now you have him holding his really cool looking blaster. And it does actually look really good. You know, these accessories look actually really cool. I do love what they did with the B127 and Cliffjumper's blaster, as they both look really cool. Not just like B127, this Cliffjumper is actually a really small deluxe, as he only stands about 4 or 4.5 inches tall. But yeah, he is a really small deluxe. Now, for some size comparisons, here is Studio Series Cliffjumper next to my last review. Guys, if you haven't watched my last video, please watch it. You'll understand why I'm mad at Ratchet. super simple. But yeah, get the premium finished version of this guy. Sorry. But yeah, you can see that Ratchet is a deluxe as well, and you can see that this is a small deluxe as well. So you can kind of see the difference between deluxe sizes, I guess. For my next size comparison, here he is next to Soundwave. Now these two really do look amazing with each other. Again, Studio Series doing a great job with the color schemes of these guys, as they do look super cool. But again, if these two guys would fight, Soundwave would win, honestly, without a doubt. Not even a hustle, not even a question. Trust me, I just know. But yeah, all in all, these guys do look really cool and really screen accurate, which looks really freaking cool. For my third review, here is the Studio Series Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime. Now, these guys look great with each other, great with each other, and I do have to give Studio Series props for doing this. Again, the colors look super good, and the screen accuracy wise is there, and I just feel the presence of them, like they jumped out of the screen into my hands, and they look super good, so I gotta give them credit for that. But here is the comparison you guys have been wanting. Here is Studio Series Cliffjumper next to Studio Series B127. Now take a look at those two. You can see a huge comparison here. Now again, Cliffjumper was made first, so I do have to give Cliffjumper some credit when credit is due for him being first. But overall, Bumblebee is the superior one. But these two do look great together, as in, you know, G1, they both basically have the same thing, except Cliffjumper only has horns on the side that's different, and that's it. That's it. Side of his head, horns, and that's a complete difference. But yeah, these two do look really good with each other, and I do have to give Studio Series props for that. If it's okay with you guys, I just want to take 1 second to talk about these two and why I like the B127 a lot better than Cliffjumper, if that is alright with you guys. One, B127 just feels better, even though these parts still don't tap in. All in all, he just feels better. He feels more sturdy. He feels like he can be played with, and that's just super cool that they did. And he just feels better. He feels a lot better, which I do actually like. But Cliffjumper, on the other hand, when he came out, these parts are all fiddly. It's just these parts still don't tap in. You know, it's just all in all, he's really not that fun to play with, and his feet are super loose. Like this part is super duper loose, and yeah, just all in all, I just feel like B127 is way better than this Cliffjumper. I just feel bad because Cliffjumper always gets bashed or killed in every single series / movie, but I just feel like B127 is a lot better, and I do love the color a lot better. But if you guys do like red is the way to go. I do love the paint here. I just feel like B127 has a lot more detail, a lot more paint, and a lot going for him as well. And this mold from the beginning was supposed to be B127, aka Bumblebee. This was his mold, so I understand why he feels a lot better than Cliffjumper. Here is both of them next to the Optimus Prime, so you can see the scale wising there, and you can see Optimus just towers over these two little guys. So that's kind of cute. But all in all, I think all three of these guys, look really freaking good, and I do have to give Studio Series props. And just because here is all of them of the Bumblebee movie so far in my in the collection so far. Here is all of them from the Bumblebee movie, and they all look super good. I do have to give Studio Series some props when, oh my gosh, dude, these guys look so amazing. Wow, that's all I can say. Wow. Cliffjumper does look good with all of them together, but just by himself, not so much. But there you guys go. There are these size comparisons, and they all look super good. Now for articulation, his head is on a ball joint. He can look up that far, and he can look down that far. His arm can move out. Bicep swivel, right? Bicep swivel? Yeah, really tight bicep swivel. Bend at the elbow, no wrist swivel, which is actually really disappointing, but just like B127, so I can't say nothing about that. He does have a waist swivel, which is pretty good. I do have to give him credit for that. His leg can move out. his back leg can move out, but that's as far as it can go. As freaking, you're fine, you're fine. Just take a deep breath and just. He does have a thigh swivel, bend at the knee, and his toe can go up and down. He does not have an ankle pivot. B127 has an ankle pivot. So why don't you? Poseability on this guy is actually not that bad. I do have to give Studio Series some credit as for trying to make a Cliffjumper figure, but I just feel like this mold was always made for somebody else. Like, if he's supposed to be the better one, but I just can't put my finger on it. But all in all, I do have to give Studio Series some credit for at least giving him some poseability. So there you go. Alright guys, here's where I'm going to cut it off and show you his alternate form. Now, in the movie we never saw him transform at all, so we had no idea what his transformation was going to look like. But this actually looked really cool, but yet again, he copied someone. But all in all, I do love the Cybertronian form, so here is his alternate form. Again, it does look really cool. I do love this Cybertronian vehicle that they went for. It does look really cool, and I do have to give Studio Series credit when credit is due. This is a really cool looking alternate mode, and there's nothing else they could have done, and it just looks really cool. Now taking a closer look at this vehicle form, you can see it does actually look really cool. You know, I do like it. I do like the color they went for. Maybe a little bit more black on the car mode to make it a little bit different, but all in all, it does look really good, and I do love this form. I think the vehicle form they went for does look really cool. You got that nice black detail in there, and yeah, it does look really cool. You got the nice transparent plastic there, but yeah, it does look really cool. I do like the little details in the back as well. Again, does look really cool, and again, just like B127, it can roll really cool. So yeah, so here's Cliffjumper next to B127's vehicle form, and you can see there is a subtle difference. There are, of course, the different color, the different paint apps as well, but let me bring you closer so that way you guys can see. Here you can just see that B127 does have that black transparent plastic, as Cliffjumper does has that more whitish silver transparent plastic. You can see he does have the black and red wheels. He also does have the black and red wheels as well. So yeah, those are the little differences you have there. But yeah, all in all, you can automatically tell that Cliffjumper again copied, you know, B127, but we're not gonna say nothing about that. But yeah, it does look really cool though. I can't tell if the inside is more painted than B127. You guys let me know. But yeah, it does look really cool. They both can roll and spin, which is pretty cool. So you know, you can go catch Decepticons. But yeah, I do like the modes that they went with this. Now again, just like B127, you cannot store the gun slash plasma cannon anywhere, which sucks. So you can just leave it on top of there, or just leave it on the ground. It's totally up to you. Now Cliffjumper did decrease in size, as he only stands about 1.5 inches tall, so he did compress a lot, just like B127. So for some size comparisons, here he is next to Ratchet. So you can see just how it scales there. Pretty cool. Here is Soundwave. Pretty cool. Cybertronian form with Cybertronian Soundwave. I dig it. Here he is next to, of course, Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime. Pretty cool. And here is B127. So that way you guys can see the similarities and the differences of the car modes. But yeah, there you guys go. There you guys have the size comparisons, so that way you guys can see the difference in sizes. Now, here is one last look at Cliffjumper's alternate form before I give my overall thoughts and overall grade on this figure. But yeah, I do love the alternate form. The alternate form is super cool. I do have to give them an A for the alternate form. I do love it. The robot mode. Alright guys, there you go. There you have the Studio Series 64 Transformers Bumblebee movie Autobot Cliffjumper. Now overall, this figure is truly amazing, and I highly suggest you guys go pick this up right now, as he is one of the best Studio Series, hands down, no matter what. So for that, I will look past all the flaws and give it a solid 10 out of psych. You thought this figure, man, this figure was highly anticipated for me, as I really thought this was going to be a really at least, you know, good figure, but the most it can get is an okay. I just wish this figure was better. You know, I wish this figure had a lot more than what I thought it was gonna have, but no, they had less than what I thought it was gonna have. But overall, I do love the color. I do like the face sculpt. I think it does look screen accurate. So for that, I do have to give it a solid. I do want to give it a 6 out of 10 so bad, but you know what? I'll be generous and give it a 7 out of 10. Studio Series knew what they were doing when they made this figure. Why do they do Cliffjumper so bad every time? It could be in a movie, it could be a TV show. They just do them so bad and so dirty, and I honestly feel really bad for Cliffjumper. But for a Studio Series, it's okay. It's not the worst. Okay, it's the worst, but it's manageable. Let's talk about its cons. Con number 1 are the legs to the feet. This is simply just moving way too much. It's all fiddly here and here, and that's what I didn't like about this figure. Immediately getting him out of the box, that's what I felt, and I just really didn't like that. Also, I did notice that he does have an ankle pivot, but you have to force it, and that's something that I didn't like. Con number 2, I do not like the way his head is positioned. As you can see, the thing to his neck is right here. So basically, he has that. That's something I didn't like, because when you look him up all the way, immediately I didn't like the way his head was placed, right? Well, or the neck was placed and to connect there. I just didn't like that at all. That's something I really didn't like. And of course, the backpack, I already explained it on the B127 review. If you haven't checked that out, please make sure to check it out. But all in all, those are basically the cons. You know, he's fiddly, he's hard to stand, he's hard to pose, but once you do pose him, I think he does look fairly decent. I don't know, it just feels like Cliffjumper is the rough draft to an essay, and here is the final essay. You know, it's like night and day, and I really do feel bad for Cliffjumper, as he is always the odd one out, or the one to die, and it just sucks. And then so that way you guys can see that I'm not just making stuff up. Look at the neck difference. Here's Cliffjumper, and here's B127. You can clearly see the difference in the necks and where the head is placed. And it, you want to put this down all the way, like maybe there. It's a little better, but you can still see a big gap there. And it's I don't know. I just really do feel bad for Cliffjumper, you know, but he's an okay figure, you know. And I gotta give him props for that. But yet again, I did have high expectations, so you gotta understand why I'm being so down on this figure. You know, it just wasn't what I thought, or what we all thought it was gonna be. Now, as of right now, Big Bad Toy Store is not selling this figure, which, you know, it has been 2 years, so I completely understand. But if you do want any other Transformers figure, please make sure to check out the description down below, and make sure to check out Big Bad Toy Store as well. TF Source is actually pre-sold out of this figure. One thing I did like is that this figure was selling out rapidly. You know, people just wanted this figure. They wanted a Cliffjumper in their collection, and that's what I wanted. I wanted a Cliffjumper in my collection, and this is the one we got. But you know, he's meant to be played with. But if you just stand him there and pose him in the right position, he actually does look really, really solid. So, but people did want this Cliffjumper, and I do give Studio Series credit for that, as you know, there's not a lot of Cliffjumper, you know, figures out there. So I highly suggest you guys go get this wherever you can. Shozy Source does not sell this figure, but if you want to check out TF Source and Shozy Store, make sure to click the link down below as well. But yeah, overall, you know, I have mixed feelings for this Cliffjumper. Maybe it's just me, but I do have mixed feelings for this Cliffjumper, and I do wish he was done justice. But I think that's going to do it here for me, guys. So this has been Promise Reviews. This has been Cliffjumper. So please make sure to stay calm and keep moving on. So I'll make sure to see you guys on the next one. Alright, Cliff, that was your review. And yeah, that's all I can say, bro. You were highly expected. But I just hope that we can still be friends. Cliff, stop! What are you... He came. Oh my gosh, he came. Oh. He came. Okay. It came. Guys, it came. Oh.